a war going on. The books can't escape from the team. Call the morning steam. It's time to break one for cover. That's gonna cover. That's gonna cash. Then we make the 100-yard dash to the window. I don't know what you thought. It's Ramon Scott running so hot. Sports make money and we make money with sports money every single day. NFL, NHL, NCAA. Stay away from the juice or might play a parlay. It's the morning steam. What? Ramon Scott. Sports money. What? Wake your ass up and let's get to the money. Get to the money. You know how we do it.
And a pleasant good morning to you coming from the sports betting capital of the world, Las Vegas. This is Ramon Scott, and welcome to the Morning Steam Show here for Friday, October 24th. It's Game 1 of the World Series in Toronto tonight. The Los Angeles Dodgers take on the Toronto Blue Jays in Game 1 of a truly international World Series tonight. We have a great matchup and can't wait to get the World Series underway and talk about it with you here on the Morning Steam, with the Dodgers on the road and favored about $1.50 tonight against the Blue Jays. What a story tonight as they get going here with the heavily favored Dodgers, upwards of $2 or more in the series here in this one, but going up against the Blue Jays team with a lot of momentum after that Game 7 victory over the Seattle Mariners. Well rested here, a few days off as we get ready to go. So can't wait for tonight. Yeah, there's some other sports going on, including a big NBA card tonight. NHL, there's 4 games, and there's some college football, but it's all about the World Series tonight, and talk about it here with you guys in just a moment. So get ready here on the Morning Steam. We'll also cover those NBA games, a 12-game slate here tonight as well, and maybe a couple of CFL games to touch on too. So thank you for joining me here on the Morning Steam as we get going with our broadcast here. I want to say hello to some folks in the chat. Thank you for joining me here today. See who's here and ready to go. All you have to do is comment in the chat and I'll maybe hook you up with some of my plays. Hopefully we'll be able to come through. We had a pretty okay run there yesterday in the NBA, brought home several winners here. So let's see who is here today. Nuke is here. He's ready to go. He was going to go to the hotel maybe at the Sky Dome. Watch out. Remember the stories that they used to talk about of looking up at the hotel rooms at the Sky Dome? And Keith Just Truth is here. Nick Handy as well today. Gary Ferentz is ready to go. He's screw the Dodgers, and Bobby Mack joins us in the chat today as well. All right. Thank you guys. Great to see you and great to have you here. And yeah, we did have some fun last night, didn't we? Let's review the action from yesterday before we get started here with we could talk about my Chargers to get the show started. Hey, we did hit the over here on the show yesterday with the Chargers getting that win at home, pretty convincing win. You know, they returned their superstar tackle in Alton. That was enough protection for Herbert to have a pretty big game. 227 yards, 3 touchdown passes, and not only that, also 62 yards rushing. So big night for Kamani Badal, 117 yards in the win. Lad McConkey, Aronde Gadsden second. This guy thought the Chargers might. Do they have another tight end in their midst? He looks strong. And not only that, the Chargers really harassed Carson Wentz, poor guy, was practically crying on the sidelines there. It almost like was too much. He was miserable through most of the game, and I don't necessarily mean his play. It almost looked like torture out there for old Carson Wentz. Hopefully they'll get J.J. McCarthy back soon, but right now, poor Carson Wentz, his arm was about to fall off last night in that game, and the Vikings had just 165 yards of total offense in that one. And we did have that over here on the show, and my Chargers go on for the victory there last night to go to 5-3 here early in the season. So that we'll take that after that loss to the Colts. All right, Will Johnson is here. He's talking about Carolina last night. Oh, man, how about Carolina and Colorado? What a game that was. Or was it Le Nordique de Quebec and also the Hartford Whalers? That was really cool. Carolina and Colorado wearing those retro uniforms. They'll do it again later this season when they play the next game in Carolina when those two teams play. That was really cool. And I liked how one of the networks had the highlights and tried to make it look like it was back in the 90s there a little bit with the video. Stop Geo is here. Nuke Worker. Hey, everyone. Like this video. Subscribe to our channel, Sports Money, here on YouTube. Fastest growing sports betting channel on YouTube. And let's see, Dimitri. Hey, nice to see Dimitri. Where you been, Dimitri? He says he had the total over. Yeah, we needed that extra score there from the Chargers. And even Al Michaels said last night, hey, this game isn't over yet, when it was certainly already decided, and we needed that field goal, and they got it there last night for that over. Joe W., hello in the chat as well. All right, hey, we whiffed on the game last night in college football with South Alabama and Georgia State. It was a battle of 1-6 teams, and South Alabama got off to a 28-14 lead. I don't even know what was it was on 28-14 lead there, and then Georgia State came all the way back to take the lead 31-28, but then South Alabama tied it and they went on to win it, and South Alabama got the money there. Mikey Money had South Alabama, but I had Georgia State. He got the money there last night in that win, 38-31. Was that the score? Were we really watching that game? 38-31, South Alabama got that win and cover by 1 point in a battle of 1-6 teams. I can't believe I lost. All right. And who else we got here? Will Johnson's ready to go in the NBA. And We Do is here as well. And Nuke said he had that game to go overtime yesterday in Carolina and Colorado. Boy, there were a lot of goals in that game. There were a lot of goals all around the NHL last night. Man, the NBA games are going over. The hockey games are going over. Everyone wants more offense. And let's see here. Greg Gibson, what did he say? I don't know what Greg is saying. He told you Wentz would get sacked. I think that's what he said. I think he's saying, told you Wentz would get sacked. I think that's what that says. Boy, did he ever. All right, a couple games last night in the NBA. And, hey, we had the winners here 2-0 last night on the Morning Steam show, as we had Oklahoma City and Indiana game to go over. How about OKC? They have both of their first two games go to double overtime. The first team, I think they said the first team ever to play double overtime in each of their first two games. How about that? Amazing. And they were able to get that win there yesterday over Indiana. But Indiana did get the money in that double overtime game, 141-135. Hey, we had the over. We had the over here on the Morning Steam show in that one. And we had also Golden State last night to take it over Denver. And that one went to overtime as well. Golden State with the win. We took them here on the Morning Steam Show 137, 131, and another crazy game there yesterday. Steph Curry, 42 points and 7 assists, and that one wasn't quite as good as SGA's 55 points, but SGA did have 40 free throws in the game. Not quite, but it sure seemed like it. He was going just like old days there. So, good night last night in the NBA. All right, NHL here on the Morning Steam. We did bring home some pretty good winners. I think we got it going again here in the NHL. We did have Ottawa there yesterday in their 2-1 win over Philadelphia. We also had Detroit and the Islanders to go over here on the Morning Steam Show. We also had Pittsburgh there on the money line. On the puck line. They went outright there over Florida for another winner for us yesterday. And we also had here the under with Seattle and Winnipeg in that 3-0 game, despite all those goals yesterday. So pretty decent night early, but late it kind of tailed off a little bit here. So we'll have to pick up some winners here on this 4-game card tonight in the NHL. All right, everyone, you can get more picks from me every day over at winnable.com/Ramon. I'm going to give you a bunch of winners hopefully here in just a moment from a bunch of different sports. But hey, if you want to get more content from me, giving you the best information I got here early on, 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Pacific. But do send out later on a little update towards usually 30 to 60 minutes before game time with my best picks. At winnable.com/Ramon, use the promo code STEAM to save 20% off those premium pick packages. And again, I send out a couple of updates per day with some other sports. It's just about 50 cents a day when you subscribe for 1 month. If you comment in the chat, I'm actually storing your comments, and I'll make a pick out of everyone here at the end of the show for a free subscription. So you can just check it out and see how it works. But you can do that just by commenting in the chat. But I'd love to hear your subscriptions here, and you get those extra picks from me. So consider doing that. Just 50 cents a day when you use that promo code STEAM at checkout. All right. Thank you for listening to that. And we're going to have a big day, I have a feeling, tonight with the World Series. We're going to get right into the previews here right now and get started. And no distractions today, right, from the incident there yesterday. I definitely still have problems with I would think that I was just going to move on and figure I was not going to talk about it, but I would think that the case against Billups and the poker crew has a lot more steam on it, if you pardon the expression, than the incidents as gross as they may be, with the incidents with the players, leaving the game. Here's a poker game that maybe was set up, and such interesting comments there by a professional poker player by the name of Matt Berkey. And if you ever watch his podcast of the Only Friends podcast, it's been going on for many years. And 2 years ago, Berkey made comments about the private game in Los Angeles and that moved to Las Vegas that happened back in 2019. So imagine the FBI, wanting to dig up this, and no problem. I mean, this, like I said, this has more wheels to me than the on/off court incidents, if you know what I mean, in the Terry Rozier case, because Rozier was actually cleared by the NBA here, and now it's like they're almost trying to dig it up extra here right now. He's, like I said, he's actually been cleared. Now, that doesn't say that there's been other fallout from that. I'm sure the FBI will have more to do with it, but like I said, the NBA had kind of already reacted to that incident there, and we'll see how deep they can take it. As far as the poker game is concerned, that might be a different set of circumstances involving a little deeper run of folks, if you know what I mean, in that incident. And it also was funny. They mentioned finally after the Warrior game, you mentioned that great game by Gordon and all those 3-pointers that he made for the Nuggets. And they said that Gordon was the first player or the second player to score 10 3-point field goals on opening night. The last guy to do it, or the first guy to do it, was Rozier. And they had to say that, or they said that right on the NBA telecast, the Inside the NBA broadcast last night. So that was awkward, awkward to say the least. So enough of that, though. They'll iron it. They'll figure it out. And we'll see. And one other that Chauncey Billups was actually released from custody, probably about 12 hours ago. They had some video of him there, so probably not a flight risk with Chauncey Billups. Not going to be in jail just yet until those charges come down or whatever they decide to pursue against him, but he was released. Okay, and will not be coaching, though, obviously. And the man who will be coaching the Portland Trailblazers is former San Antonio Spurs player Thiago Splitter. If you guys remember Splitter, he kind of played on some of those good Spurs teams many years ago. He is now taking over, at least for now, and I would imagine for a while, for Billups as the coach of the Spurs, of the Trailblazers. Okay, Dimitri says he likes Toronto tonight with revenge for maybe that regular season. Will's on the Dodgers, 1,500 to win a dime, I guess. Greg liked the interception there. Oh, Greg is also saying Alabama by 7 this week, I think he's saying. Denver blew the game, says Will, there last night. Good game, though, late, huh? Cliff Floyd here as well. Greg says it was easy money with those teams last night, the Warriors and the Thunder. Yep, Thunder get that money line victory there anyway, right? And Terrell says they cleared him because of the other things that were going on. Good point, Terrell. It's funny, right? Yep. And let's see, Cash Kane as well. All right, appreciate that. We can get started here, I think, with the broadcast, the previews and predictions. Going to go right to the World Series. Man, it's going to be awesome. International World Series today at one of the most famous stadiums in the world in Toronto. And should be a great game here between the Dodgers and the Blue Jays tonight. Blake Snell on the mound for the Dodgers and Trey Yesavage on the mound for the Blue Jays. And man, imagine the road that Yesavage has been on here for the Blue Jays this season. It really is unprecedented, having come from the level of minor league ball that he was pitching at this year. The youngster, just 22 years old, he becomes the youngest starter in World Series history since 1947, when the Dodgers, of all teams, started Ralph Branca in the World Series. And now you have Trey Yesavage going in this one, and man, incredible to think. He wasn't even making starts in the major leagues until late in the season, coming all the way up through the ranks, and then getting all the way to the postseason and setting kind of I don't know, I'll call them records or milestones, but almost like a series of firsts for a young pitcher to be pitching in some of these high leverage games at this time. It really is unprecedented. And to me, it is a bit of a weakness for the Blue Jays. As awesome as he has been, he has not been anything but terrific. But man, eventually, when does it all just become too much? Maybe it's good that he's just 22 years old, and maybe he doesn't know how much what he's accomplishing here, and maybe that will help him be comfortable. But now you got to go up against these Dodgers here, who are, I think, admittedly, or for most believe, one of the best teams of all time here. I don't know, we're not the Yankees knocking down multiple World Series championships in a row, but a lot of people tell we know what they come to the table with, and big salaries and big bumpers on this team and great pitching as well. Just to me seems like a bit of a tough ask, but hey, there's no doubt that a baseball series. I mean, volatility in baseball is a real thing. Even the best teams sometimes have trouble winning upwards of close to 65%. That is outstanding in baseball. So in a 7-game series, anything can happen for those Blue Jays here, but I'm certainly thinking the Dodgers are going to win the World Series, and I think this price for me is pretty good, but I'm going to look to go over in Game 1 here between the Dodgers and the Blue Jays. If Yes Savage can go, 5 or more innings, giving up just a run or two, maybe it will stay under, and then the Blue Jays will have a big chance. And for Blake Snell, he does have a little bit of success against this group. Of course, Yes Savage has not faced the Dodgers yet, but if you look at some of the numbers, and they are light because there's not a whole lot of head-to-head with these two, but certainly Snell has appeared against these guys. Alejandro Kirk, he's 2 for 3 with a walk. He's really the only guy with some decent numbers here. IKF is 0 for 3. You got Ty France 1 for 5, Ernie Clement 1 for 5, and hopefully we see Bo Bichette. He is just 1 for 7 against Snell, but still waiting here on the status. The reports feel pretty good from what some of the talk was for his potential to make this lineup here tonight. Still questionable with that knee injury, but it seems like every day he's getting a little bit closer. So I don't know if we've seen the official word yet, but all signs were pointing to him being available for the Blue Jays. It would be a big boost to their lineup if he were to make that start. Also, for the Dodgers, a little bit of a bummer here heading into Game 1. Reliever Alex Vesia, the left-hander who comes into some high-leverage situations here out of the Dodger bullpen, it looks like he may be out for the World Series. Maybe some unfortunate news. We're just not sure of the situation, but the Dodgers did release a statement saying that Vesia would be unavailable here, either temporarily or longer in the World Series due to some I think they worded it on the release, a serious family matter or a deeply personal family matter. So that just doesn't sound good. That sounds like a real bummer for my man Alex Vesia from Spring Valley, California, Steel Canyon High School, someone whose career I've watched very, very closely. So I feel very bad right now for whatever's going on in their family. Does seem very, very serious, not allowing him to be a part of the team with the World Series because he has to tend to this matter with his family. It did mention his wife as well in the release by the Dodgers. A little bit of bummer there. And Tanner Scott, we'll see what his status is as well. He also had a personal situation down the stretch there and missed some time. So still Dodgers $1.50 on the road in this one. They're probably about as high as 225 on some of the books here for the World Series, maybe a little bit less on some of the other books. Your comments are piling up in the chat, so I'll go to them now, but my pick here is going to be on the over in Game 1 at 7.5 at minus $1.15. Let me go to the chat, and I want to hear from you, and you can make your pick on who's going to win the World Series here as well. And hey, if you want to take the Dodgers here, the Blue Jays here the Dodgers and 7 or something, and that kind of favors the Blue Jays a little bit. That's okay too. Let's see what you got here. Greg says the Dodgers steal game 1, 4-3. I think that would. I don't know if that's the right terminology there, but taking the Dodgers there. And is the Ramon take? I think I'm taking the Dodgers, but my official play here on the show is going to be on the over. Keith Just Truth says Snell to go over on his K's cash gains on the Dodgers. Abel, of course, is going to be on the Dodgers for back-to-back titles. And let's see here. Good morning to you also, Abel. Yeah, Keith, I think that's what we know about Bichette right now. Just waiting for more information, right? And Abel says, how about Alejandro Kirk? Huh? Maybe he will get a big hit here. I do love me some Alejandro Kirk for sure. My man from Tijuana. I mean, he is a total Tijuanese, if you know what I mean. I love Kirk, man. Definitely love Kirk. He actually played for the Tijuana Toros. Let's see here. Greg says he's got Snell. He's predicting 9 strikeouts. Is that right? Nuke says, watch out for his Blue Jays tonight. I can't wait. You know, it's funny, Nuke. I know you heard me tell this story, but I got to tell it again, right? You know, a lot of times when we see these big games, right, and what part of the country is rooting for which team. So you'd have like, you know, if it was East-West from the United States or whatever, and maybe you'd think in this one it'd be like United States was rooting for the Dodgers and Canada's rooting for the Blue Jays. But no, not in this one. Only LA is rooting for the Dodgers. The whole world is rooting for Toronto, except maybe the bettors. But it's kind of funny. I don't like the Dodgers, certainly, but I still think they're going to take the World Series over your Blue Jays. But I'm real proud of seeing the Blue Jays there representing Canada in a true World Series, and happy for their success. And if anything, I just think the Dodgers sucks. So the Dodgers get all this great talent, spend all this money, and just keep winning here. That's coming from a Padres fan. So I may be picking the Dodgers, but I'm not a big fan. And I hope that Abel doesn't get mad at me. But he says Snell's going to pitch a gem. Greg says Dodgers in 6. He says, look what they did. They destroyed these other teams, says Abel. And Abel says the job's not done until they get it done. Sammy says over in this one with me. And Greg can see a win tonight for the Dodgers. Abel says no biggie there. Well, that's hey, I know what Abel's saying. He's talking about his pitching, but let's be a little bit. Notice. Like I said, I'm pretty fond of this young man, so I don't want anything terrible. But I think he just means that the Dodgers will be fine without him. But I'd certainly like to see him pitch in the World Series. He pitched well last year, I thought too. He's up and down. I know that. And Nuke says, yes, it's true, Nuke. Nobody likes the Dodgers. Nobody likes a team that spends all the money and wins all the games, right? I mean, you want to do it au natural, except the Dodgers fans like Abel. Yeah, Abel, you're right. I just hope it's something, not awful. Nuke says he's got him. Blue Jays, I know who he's got in this one. Blake is here today, and he says he thinks Snell will be rolling. Amazing for Snell to me because, Snell was kind of a pitcher who wasn't, I won't say durable, but sometimes he was actually not getting very deep into games for several, I won't say years. I mean, I know every start's different. Remember, Snell is a guy who kind of is a perennial Cy Young candidate for many years, or at least one of the better pitchers in baseball for sure. It's just that sometimes, there were games where he couldn't even get to the 5th inning, which you have to do to get a win, and he'd go 4 1/3, 4 2/3, mowing them down, but didn't have a gas tank sometimes. And I think that's been a little bit on his career. But here down this season, especially later in the season, he's really run deep in some of those games, deep within. All right. And Terrell liking the Colts there on Sunday. AOD is here. Nice to have AOD, Action Jackson, as well in the chat. Greg says they got that experience. Here comes some more plays. Mookie over in his total bases tonight. And the Dodgers to win the World Series. Kripke liking the Dodgers here. And Keith Just Truth there. Abel says, I agree. Got to agree with that for sure, Abel. But also, if there's also an argument to be made, not maybe against those particular countries rooting for the Dodgers, which I can agree with that for the most part. But also, if you think of the Toronto Blue Jays and that famous jacket that they have for their home run celebration, the jacket was designed because of the nationalities of all the players and the diversity that the Blue Jays have shown over the years with their personnel. And the jacket actually has the countries of those players on the jacket. So that's part of the what their pride is, if you will, the Canadian pride and the international pride, like a player like Vladdy Jr., right? It's going to be a lot made of that tonight on the pregame show with Ohtani and they'll show some pictures. You've seen them already on the internet of Vladdy as a little kid and as Ohtani in his little suit there, his little school suit. He looked really bad there, but we knew he'd go on to become the greatest baseball player of all time. We wouldn't have made fun of him, but certainly they'll talk about that as well. Chief Just Truth, Blue Jays in 7. You know what? If they get to a 7th game, right, it's going to be real. The closer they get to a 7th game, the closer the line might get. In fact, one of the reasons I might be on the Dodgers in this game is because the line is only $1.50 here. I think the Blue Jays are getting some respect from the bettors. Snell is on fire, that's for sure. Nuke says Vegas is going to he thinks the money's kind of one-sided for the Dodgers. All right. Nobody really knows what's going to happen. If we only knew, right? All right, Dodgers. Yeah, he's Abel going back to the archives. Maybe the Dodgers had one taken away from them, but we're on. Right, we still celebrate those guys a little bit. All right, Snell always finished strong. Snell's the ace. Home run Mookie, says Greg Gibson here today. And Jerry says, go Dodgers. And Terrell says the Dodgers are spending their money wisely. Oh, it just feels like they have too much money, Terrell. I mean, is there really a salary cap or whatever's going on? They've got all this talent that no one can seem to replicate. Snell for 10 strikeouts here. How about Blue Jays on the run line and make it a close game tonight? Greg's got Vladdy for a homer. I'm loving all the comments in the chat. And Abel says, I like the cheaters. Right? However we can do it. If we ain't cheating, we ain't trying. Yeah, just jealousy, really, when it comes to the Dodgers. I mean, Padres can never beat them, and I might be in my grave without a world championship in anything. I should have went with the Dodgers years ago. I do have a little bit of a fondness in the past of the Dodgers growing up, just because when you're young and you love the game and sports on TV isn't like anything it was today. The Dodgers were on TV for me in San Diego more often than the Padres because their games were on the cable. Back then, cable meant we got the channels from LA and San Diego, and the Dodgers would be on all the time on Channel 11 and all the way with their preseason games in Vero Beach, Florida. And so I did like the Dodgers a little bit, and I love Vin Scully for sure, but nowadays, not so much. Used to like Dave Roberts too until he was an awful manager. All right, Jordy in the chat, hello. And he says he's got the Dodgers money line and Ohtani for a home run. All right, you guys, great comments about the World Series today, and I'm going to take the over. And Greg says, stop being biased. You like the Padres. You know the Dodgers. Yep, I'm on the Dodgers here, Greg, for sure. All right, enjoy it. And hey, hopefully we get more than a 4-game series out of it. The odds, I think, when you're looking at $2, I think that kind of points to a 6-game series, actually. Minus $2 equals, what is the total on the game series here? I think I'm going to look at it real quick here. Oh, do we have it? Let's see. I think it was 5.5 shaded to the over, right? Okay, here we go.
Final.
Yeah, so 4-1. 4-1 actually is a favored result. 4-2 is plus 350 or so. So does seem the closest. 5.5 over 5.5 games is about minus 165, but under 6.5 games is minus 285 or so. So 5.5 over 65 there. I don't know. Under on plus money might be okay by me, but hoping Toronto gives us a great series that can last and give us some extra betting opportunities into next week. Okay. Abel said, just to keep the Jays' hopes alive there. Nuke says, a 4-game series, the Jays have got to win. Dodgers should win a couple. He's saying, right? He says, that's going to be a Jays sweep. I will give the Dodgers a couple of games in there. I think Irish King will say Dodgers by minus 1.5 games there. Okay, and I think we did a good job there on that one. And I'll take the over in game 1 so I don't get anybody upset. But I think I'm on the Dodgers. Like I said, I think the price is very good there at $1.50. Okay, can't wait for that, but let's move on and get ready for tonight. We've got NBA action here. Big card here tonight. Let's get right into it. With the Bucks taking on the Raptors to start us off here. And speaking of Toronto, right, and note this, I guess here to get it started, right? So the time has been moved here. We're going to get this one started at 6:40 Eastern, 3:40 Pacific. Apparently something's big going on in Toronto tonight. Also, the Maple Leafs have had their game, even though they're on the road. I believe they're also in a time change tonight. What was that? Originally scheduled time. It's at 7:07. Originally scheduled for, so they moved it back 30 minutes in Buffalo, but apparently it was moved in accordance to the baseball game as well. I mean, the hockey game will run, into the baseball coverage there for the first few innings, but nonetheless, the game was adjusted because of the World Series apparently in Buffalo there tonight. Okay, here we go with the Bucks and the Raptors here. Raptors favored by 2 here in this one, and maybe down to 1.5 here in a few spots even here right now. Yeah, 1.5 pretty much all over, and the total here has gone up to 234. That's about 1.5 higher than kind of the original. I'd show some of the original numbers low as 229.5. So look, I had to adjust my numbers after that big 12-game schedule on the second night of the season. Remember, I was on here touting, oh boy, these numbers sure are high. So after I took it on the chin with some of those totals, I have readjusted without looking. I'm not going to look at other ratings or anything like that. I made my, and maybe I've gone too far because now I do like overs here, and I hope I'm not just being overreactionary. I've never been that type, but I have to really pay attention to what went on there in game 1, and it kind of coincided with what we saw in the preseason, which is funny because we were all over it in the preseason, talking about the overs, taking some of the overs there for sure, and man, we saw a huge display of overs there to start the season. So see what you got though here in this one with Milwaukee coming in off of that win at home over the Wizards there on Wednesday night. They won it by 13. They were favored by 10. So Milwaukee got that cover for sure in that game against Milwaukee. And well, for Toronto here, they did a pretty good job for sure. Look, that first game, you have to figure the Raptors got that win by 20 points and were never headed there. It was a blowout over Atlanta to get the season started. So a nice job by Toronto here as well. So look, Milwaukee did a good job, but I have a lot of problems with Milwaukee. I mean, to me, the whole thing with everybody was teasing right now about Giannis and his brothers, and maybe his uncle should be playing, maybe his nephew, maybe his cousin. Maybe we'll just have a bunch of Antetokounmpos out there soon. But you know what? Part of it has to do, you talk about salary caps and managing things, and maybe Giannis just gets what he wants as well. That's not always a great strategy. Kind of a what have you done for us, really. We're giving you all this leeway, but he's a great guy anyway. So let's see what you got here, though, in this one. Milwaukee and Toronto both opened up with victories here. And I want to hear from you folks in the chat on these games here tonight. We'll see what we can come up with.
Final.
Going to the chat here. Milwaukee's covered 4 of the last 5 meetings between these two teams. 5 of the last 7 meetings between the two teams have gone over, including 4 of the last 5 meetings going over here in Toronto when the two teams have met. And here we go. We got Keith on the Raptors here on the money line. And I think Jerry's saying Giannis is going to have a big day, maybe 35 to 55 points. Nuke says the Raptors to crush them here. How about quickly over in his point total? VAR is on Milwaukee alternate line here, +7. So he'll take a few more extra points there. And Terrell says they'll just leave the game and head on to the baseball game. That's an expensive, you want to miss any of the baseball game, huh? All right, take the over, says Greg. He says 118 to 116 should land right on it. But take over. Okay. Action Jackson on the Raptors here. Bucks money line because Giannis is just looking so good right now. But I got to take Toronto here in this one. Like I said, I think Milwaukee will have ups and downs all through the season. I don't know if Toronto's ready to set the world on fire this season, but I think in this matchup, I'm going to be willing to take them here with Milwaukee having to go on the road. I think watch out. I think, with Scotty Barnes and these guys can play some defense here. You also, look, you have Ryan Rollins in the lineup. Are we really going to get awesome production from this guy here? Now, AJ Green did look pretty okay, certainly in that last game, and he could have a good performance. And really pleased with Miles Turner in that first game. Did a good job for the Bucks for sure. Big addition there. But still, Kevin Porter Jr., he's going to miss the game with an ankle injury here. That he injured there in the game against against Washington. So that is a bit of a bummer. So I think with RJ Barrett, I think with Brandon Ingram can have good games. You already mentioned quickly in there maybe for a good game, and Barnes as well. I got to take Toronto here in this one. And we've got Greg saying the Raptors will win at home. Abel likes the over. And the famous Toronto fan, yep. Terrell. All right. Sure, he's ready to go play some cards with the mob. Greg says the Bucks a little bit overrated, especially on the road. And we'll see. But I kind of got a little bit of a down arrow on the Bucks. We'll see. They'll still have a pretty strong year. Giannis isn't, over the hill or anything. It just doesn't feel like the supporting cast is quite all there. And good morning to our Toms in the chat. Nice to have our Toms. Keep it going here right now, and we're on the way to this 12-game NBA schedule here tonight. Atlanta taking on Orlando. Orlando favored at home here by 5. The total is, oh boy, the total's 236. Oh my goodness. Is that a big number here now? That thing is going up. The widely reported steam did come in on the over. Man, I didn't see that coming here. I came on this show saying I want to go over in this game. Tickets are heavy on the over. I know that for sure. It looks like here in this one, tickets are running almost unanimously on the over here. And, well, maybe even I could go over in this one with Atlanta and Orlando. But, man, this thing started as low as 228.5, and now you're looking at 236. These are the games the other night where I was saying, oh, wait a second here. You can't be doing that right now. But I was thinking over in this game. Now I'm concerned as it continues to go higher here with Atlanta taking on Orlando. Look, Paolo Banchero is going to be able to fill it up for sure here in this one, but who else really is going to go off here right now in this matchup? I understand you've got guys like Franz Wagner and Desmond Bain on Orlando here. Risa Shea does have an injury designation for Atlanta here. You got Trey Young, of course, and Jalen Johnson as well, coming off a great start to his season for Atlanta here. Come in 0-1, however, after the loss by 20 points. Orlando took care of business, 125-121 over Miami, although they did not get the money. Miami got the money in that opener in a close game between those in-state foes. Let's see how you have it here in the chat, but 6 of the last 8 meetings between these two teams have gone over. Atlanta's also won 14 of the last 20 meetings overall between the two, although Atlanta just 3-8 against the spread last 11 in Orlando. I'll go over in this one. Boy, I'm scared, but from what we've seen here so far, it's going to be a stretch, but I think over is still the better call here. These are the ones on Tuesday where I was going over when I thought the line was moving too high, and I won't do it blindly in every game, but I just think in this one, I'm going to look for this one to go over here tonight with Atlanta and Orlando. All right, and Magic money line here for Keith Just Truth, and Abel says he agrees. He wants the over as well. Man, it is a big number. Even Greg says 237 points. He's right on the spread there. That's the predicted final score. All right. Next up, we got 2 teams here looking for some wins. Let's go to the next one here with Cleveland on the road taking on the Nets. Cleveland favored by 13 points after that season opening loss. Tough break there. Remember, Cleveland lost to the Knicks in the opener, 119-111. I thought the Cavs would come out a little bit stronger than that to open the season against the Knicks. They kind of had their number, but maybe those Knicks are okay. You do have Brooklyn here at home getting 2 touchdowns practically. The move actually has come in on the Nets. I'm showing the line down here to 11.5 right now. And I'm glad. 11.5, and the total has gone up here again. Another one to 230 in this one. Man, this one started as low as 227.5, so at least it wasn't as big as the other move, but still, nonetheless, the move is to the over here. The widely reported steam came in on the over, and it also came in on Brooklyn, down from 13 to 11. I think Jared Allen will definitely be in a better position than he was maybe in that Knicks game. I think he could have a pretty good game against Nick Claxton for sure. But Cam Thomas for Brooklyn, man, he's got a good matchup here against Sam Merrill. And let's see on the injury front for Cleveland here. DeAndre Hunter is questionable into this game, and also for the Nets, they got a few players out here right now, role players tonight. So, man, that line has moved here a little bit, making Cleveland, dare I say, a little bit of value on Cleveland because the moves come in on Brooklyn. I understand that, look, I was the one trying to come in here and sell Brooklyn in that first game, and they were in a clunker for sure. They did not look good in that opening game, losing 136 to 117. I mean, that was just bad. And that was after I was, kind of saying that, oh, Brooklyn's coming in and they're doing things the right way now. Remember when they used to bring in a bunch of high price talent and they were trying to do things that way with their rich owner? And that was just the wrong way to go about it for this franchise. Unfortunately, they are set back here quite a while. Brooklyn lost at Charlotte 136 to 117. The Nets did hit 35% from three, but for Brooklyn, they had Thomas had 15 points. Claxton had 17 points in that one. So Cavs definitely had some issues on the offensive glass, but you really wouldn't expect to see that with with Mobley and with Jared Allen in there. And can Brooklyn repeat that same performance that the Knicks did, trying to keep them off the glass there a little bit? It feels like the Cavs probably the better shot. I'm going over here in this one with Cleveland and Brooklyn here at 230. Your comments in the chat on this one. Banchero to go over for Terrell. Jerry's going to win 50 dimes on the Dodgers. Irish King, Orlando first quarter. Vara's got the Cavs minus, what is that, 1.5? Keith Just Truth there on Cleveland first half. And Greg says Brooklyn plays Cleveland tough, Ramon. They play them tough. Cleveland here has won 9 of the last 10 meetings against Brooklyn, but they haven't all been covers. 5 of the last 7 meetings between the two teams have gone under. Last few games between these two teams, Cleveland and Brooklyn, was Cleveland won 109-104. That was a Brooklyn cover, so that was a cover, and then Cleveland won 110-97 for a cover, barely, but that was in February. So those were, of course, last season. Cleveland has won 4 straight, basically 2-2 against the spread in those 4 games from last season. I'll take the over. Abel's on the Cavs. And let's see here. Greg says, coming off a loss, Cleveland might take Brooklyn, might beat them pretty good. He says Cleveland's 12.5 at Hard Rock. Yeah, I'm seeing the move here to the Nets for sure. It was as high as 13. And look, Keith says Steam's also on the Celtics here. The Knicks are down to 4. We're going that one next. Jerry might be a little behind us. He likes the Dodgers in 5 or 6. Greg says he's got this one going over. Next up, we've got the Celtics and the Knicks as advertised. And, yep, there's the move. The Knicks, man, they're down to 3.5 even here at a lot of sites. So Boston taking the action here against the Knicks. Boy, it did look a little high at the time, and the total here is 229, opened as high as 227.5. We know the Knicks beat Cleveland in that season opener, 119-111. Meanwhile, Boston was in that back and forth game, remember, against Philadelphia. 1 minute they're winning, 1 minute they're not, 1 minute they're covering, 1 minute they're not, and it was 117-116 against a good-looking Philadelphia team here. So Boston, for the Knicks here, they got that home win against Cleveland, got the money there. Look at this move, though, like I said, from 5.5 down to 3.5 right now. So Boston's taking the money here, it feels like, in this one. Let's hear from you guys in the chat, and I'll let you know what I think in this game. I certainly think that Derek White can have a pretty good game, but look at the lineup the Celtics are sending out there. You got White, Pritchard, Brown, you got Sam Hauser out there, and you got Neemias Queta as well. So that's what the Celtics are going with here. The Knicks with Brunson and Bridges, hey, you're still going up against Boston. They can handle it, handle the guards, and we'll see if the Knicks here in this discount anyway. For Karl Anthony Towns, he found himself back on the injured list after that great performance. Remember, he had a grade 2 cap strain, I think it was, quad strain in the opener. Still came through with 19 points and 11 rebounds in that game. He had a great game, but Josh Hart is questionable. Mitch Robb is still out here to start the season, and OG is on the injured list too with a turned ankle, but he is probable. And we know that, let's see, Luke Garza had a concussion late last game, or maybe it was in the second quarter, but he left the game and is out tonight for Boston here. But the move clearly on Boston here in this one from 6.5 down to 3.5 right now. Let's go to the chat and see what you have here with these two.
Steam play.
A little bit of, let's see here. The Knicks have covered 5 of the last 7 meetings between the two teams, and they've also won 5 of the last 7. They've won and covered 5 of the last 7 meetings here, or won 5 of the last 7 meetings here in New York. Let's go to the chat and see what you have here, but interesting to note, kind of a big move here, 2 points to Boston tonight. Could Boston possibly go to 0-2 here? They did get the money in that first game, despite being an underdog there in the. Let's see. Oh no, I'm sorry. They were favored in that game against Philly. Right? Oh no. Philly ended up the favorite, right? So Boston covered, losing by 1 point. What was that? Now I want to go check. Now I want to go check the archives here. Yeah, 3.5, right? So Philly.
Steam play.
Yeah, Boston was favored by 3.5. Okay, I got it. Let me go to the chat here before I make a fool of myself. Okay. Nick's first half or Irish King Bar says he likes over. Maybe he'll buy it down here a little bit, kind of a teaser price there in that one. And Keith says, what about that Knicks, what about the Knicks injury factor? Who is out for them? Like I said, Towns. Look, he played in the first game, and he definitely played uncomfortable injury here, but he had a great game. So Hart questionable, Mitch Robb out right now. That's what we're seeing here. OG Anunoby, though, is probable. Celtics cover, but Knicks win for Cash Kane. And let's see. Yeah, I don't know if Mitch Robb's. I don't expect him to be in here. And the Irish Kings wondering what came down with that move also, right? What is it attributed to? LALV, hello. Nasty Nate likes Boston first quarter, first half, and full game, and in the second quarter as well. He's got the Celtics to smash those Knicks tonight. Greg Gibson says he's got it here 117 to 113, kind of right on the number there. LALV liking the over in this one. Jerry likes it under. Irish King likes the Knicks to smash here. Abel going under there. Nasty Day says the Celtics were favored in that game. That's what I said, right? Yeah. Yeah. They were favored, and Philly. Okay. Hope I got it right. Had to go to the archives there a little bit. Line open 5.5. And now it's down. Irish King's a little bummed about that. Robert likes the Celtics here now. Knicks, are they better this time around? And the only drawback I might have is, are they going to knickerbocker it up, if you know what I mean? But look, they proved me wrong in that game against Cleveland here, and a pretty confident win. Boston couldn't beat the Sixers. How are they going to beat the Knicks here? All right, gang. I think that's it for that one. I got to make my call here in this one with Boston and the Knicks here tonight. Now I'm going to take the New York Knicks to win this one at -3.5. Next up, going to Detroit and Houston here with the Rockets favored. We're seeing a move in this game right now to Houston, 6.5 total. 226.5. Just a slight move here to the Rockets and the over in this one. Pistons, of course, lost their opener 115 to 111. They went down to defeat. Meanwhile, for the Rockets, of course, they lost 125-124 to Oklahoma City. They played very, very well. Got the money in that game, so that was okay. But Detroit, with that loss at Chicago, 115 to 111 to go to 0-1. Cade Cunningham, 23 points and 10 assists in that one. Isaiah Stewart, 20 and 10. For Houston, Alperen Sengun, we said how good he would be in that opener, and man, he came through big time and looked every bit the part of an all-star. Houston's got a great matchup, it feels like, here against Detroit today. Gotta love this Houston defense, I think, is what we're going to be saying here. Not all the games, I don't think, are going over, especially if Houston can come out and play a good matchup here, it feels like. Yeah, no Fred. A lot of times no Fred, no cover, they kind of say, but I don't know. Detroit might be in for it here, it feels like, tonight. Detroit has covered for the last 5 meetings between these two teams. Under has come in for the last 6 meetings between the two. The widely reported steam did come in on the under, but like I said, we are dealing here with 226.5. Just did get some injury information here just a short time ago with this matchup, and it was Karis LeVert here. Let me see. Okay, here it is. Isaiah Crawford upgraded to probable in this game for Houston. That information is just in.
System play.
We can go to the chat, I think, here in this one. See what you have with the Pistons and the Rockets here today. Okay. Rockets here for NYC Bar. Nick Candy says, give me Adams over 8.5 rebounds, over 11.5 rebounds and assists. LALB says this is one you want to go under on. Greg likes it to be an 8-point game in this one, and I'm going to agree with Greg. Give me Houston minus the 6 points tonight against the Pistons. I'm going to take the Rockets here to win this one by more than 6. Next up, the Heat are at the Grizzlies, and the Grizzlies are favored here by 3, and the total 233 or so. In fact, it's down here to 2.5 here right now in this one. So maybe a little bit tricky here, right? I mean, what is the line trying to tell us? That Miami's going to be a big, really come in here and compete today against the Grizzlies. Yeah, the Grizzlies are favored here, and I don't know. You'd think the Grizzlies would have the team that could handle the business here, but let's see how you guys have it in this one. Man, that total 233 on a Heat Grizzlies game. Wow. All right, and of course the Heat coming in here. They lost to Orlando 125-121, but they got the money as an 8-point dog. So 1-0 ATS anyway. Normie Powell looks good so far for the Heat, 28 points and 8 rebounds. Wiggins, 18 points and 4 rebounds for Andrew Wiggins there in that one. And for Memphis, they beat New Orleans 128-122 in their opener. Although Grizzlies got the money, they did allow 122 points in a game that did go over the total. Miami has lost 8 of the last 11 meetings between the two teams. Also, 6 of the last 7 meetings between the two teams have gone under. But, man, Miami feels like a sharp side here, it feels like right now. Down to, a measly 2.5 here. Let's hear from you guys in the chat maybe in this one and see what we're looking at here. I know it can be a strong matchup here for Davion Mitchell after he tore up Orlando. 16 points, 12 assists, 6 rebounds, running the show for Miami. It really is a good sign that he's able to do that. And with Bam in there, I think they got a good shot here. You do have pretty lengthy injury list here for Minnesota. Now, they were kind of making fun of the rotations there, and maybe with the coach kind of mixing it up a little bit awkwardly, but he still had 35 points in the game, 3 rebounds, 3 assists for a job. But he's on the injury report here today with a turned ankle. KCP also questionable with an ankle injury. Vince Williams Jr. is out of this game. Ty Jerome still out as well for Memphis. Tyler Hero out for Miami here right now. But I'm taking the Miami Heat in this one. I think they could win this game, actually. I'm taking the Heat to get it done here. Feel a little bit contrarian, I think, in this one, but I'm taking Miami plus 2.5. I think they looked to. I was really impressed with how fast Miami looked in that opener. They made a lot of mistakes. If they can cut those down here, they can do it. And certainly, I'm a big Normie Powell fan, so let's go. I'm going to take Miami here in this one. Yeah, John Morant. I'm seeing those injuries now. Morant questionable, KCP questionable, Williams downgraded to out. Okay. Greg says Houston, when they're at home coming off a loss, it's strong. Abel's on the Rockets. Irish King, Houston first half. Dimitri on Houston, but Barr likes the under. Dimitri's on Miami here with me in this one. He likes them on the money line. LALB says Heat first half. Greg likes this one to be Memphis and the over there. Abel's on the under, however. Memphis is great at home, says Greg Gibson.
Steam play.
Next up, the Spurs are on the road taking on the Pelicans. Spurs going to be a road favorite after Wemby looked all the part of the MVP. Man, the Spurs odds went down to win the championship. Odds went down to win the Western Conference. Odds went down for Wemby to win the MVP after that dominating performance over Dallas. 125-92. It was a overwhelming performance as Wembanyama dominated Anthony Davis so bad they had to switch up the defense for part of make sure that he wasn't on him because they were making it look silly. Pelicans come in here off of that loss that we talked about, 128-122 to the Grizzlies. They failed to cover the number there that did go over in the opener. Spurs actually went under in that game because of the great defensive performance that they put down on Dallas, holding them to just a league low 92 points on that Big 12 game card. Lowest point total, I believe, of the season there so far. But San Antonio's now got to turn around and go on the road in a situation where they've actually had some problems. They've actually gone just 3-10 straight up and against the spread their last 13 trips or last 13 games, period, against New Orleans. And we'll see with the new and improved Zion here and how he'll look in this one. But remember, New Orleans was losing every game late last season. 14 of the last 20 meetings between these two teams have gone under, but I don't think I'm going under. Not after what we saw from the in the first game there with the Pelicans and 250 points in that game. Spurs may have had a great defensive performance against Dallas, but they still scored 125 points. I'm going over in this one with San Antonio and New Orleans tonight in the Big Easy. All right, let's get your plays here. Abel's on the over with me. Cash Kane, Spurs, Moneyline, LALB liking the over, Cash Kane liking the over. We're on the over. That was used to be a consensus. All right, the Wizards are going to take on the Mavericks here. Wizards just got blowed out by Milwaukee by 13 points. Middleton returned to Milwaukee, got a nice ovation, and left with a loss. Dallas here, meanwhile, will have to rebound after that ugly performance, scoring just 92 points. And what is that, what we're going to see, a Dallas team that is down this season? You wouldn't think so with some of these guys in this lineup, of course, with AD, Derek Lively in there, probably a pretty good matchup for him. Cooper Flag, it was weak performance from Flag. In fact, when Flag was on the floor, he was dismal in the plus-minus department. Major concern there for sure. That's when they got dominated in the third quarter with Flag looking like he was standing still. So we'll see here, having to lay 10.5 against a Washington team that, I think they have some guys here right now with C.J. McCollum leading the way and Alex Sarr, pretty good game to start as well here. Now, no Kyrie. We know he's out currently for Dallas. Galford also here. Let me take a look at this injured list today. It's not a pressing matter with these two, I don't believe, but right now Dallas favored there by, oops, got the line wrong. You guys are probably laughing at me there. Dallas is minus 10 and 228. There we go. They're minus 220. Dante Exum also out of this game with rest. I think that's one of note here. Gafford questionable. Koulibaly of the Wizards is still out here currently, but pretty big line here. I know the opener was as high as 12.5, so it is a discount on Dallas. The move is clearly on Washington here. Can Dallas, are they good enough? Are they that good of a team right now to go ahead and more like is Washington still bad, right? Hey, they got the lost by 13, so they failed to cover in that game against Milwaukee, and now they're on the road here taking on this Dallas club.
Final.
Washington has actually covered 9 of the last 13 meetings between the two teams, but they meet just a couple of times a year. 8 of the last 9 meetings between the two teams have gone over. Of course, Washington lost that game by 13. Dallas, let's see, Davis, 22 points, 13 rebounds. Washington, 17 points and 5 rebounds. Middleton was sharp against his old team, 23 points and 6 rebounds. Keyshawn George, 21 points and 9 boards. I'm going to have to take the Wizards here. Look, the move has been on the Wizards. Probably no value with the Wizards here right now, figuring it open a little more. But I'm going to try Washington here, plus the points against the Mavs. And let's see here from the chat. LALB liking the Mavs here. And we do say go with Cooper Flag under here. I got to expect a better game from Cooper, right? LALB, let's see. Dallas will beat them here by 11. Abel says Wizards first half. Cash Kane Mavs money line, but lean to the Wizards with the points. Doesn't like the game. All right, the Jazz are on the road taking on the Kings. Kings are favored here by 5.5, maybe down to 5 here a little bit after Utah. Come on, they hammered the Clippers and made them look silly as they took advantage of a Clippers team that's probably just a mental case this season. The Jazz look pretty good. They're getting the points here, total to up to 233.5 here in this one. This one's going up as well. So, in that first game, of course, Utah won 129 to 108. They scored 78 points in the first half against the Clippers, made them look silly. We said the Clippers were probably falling into a little bit of a trap there in that game, and man, they just looked abysmal as Utah. Give them credit. Kessler, 22 points, 9 rebounds. Markkanen, 20 points, 6 rebounds as well. And meanwhile, for the Kings, they did lose 120 to 116 against Phoenix. They might have fallen right on the number there. We talked about how it landed just about on the number in that first game, and maybe maybe it landed 4.5 for some people there, and maybe the Kings or 3.5, I'm sorry, against Phoenix, and maybe they didn't get the number eventually, but we know the Jazz got the number. Both teams went over in their first game, and I have a feeling this one's going over as well. Utah has lost 8 straight games against the Kings. They've also failed to cover in 6 of the last 7 meetings between the two teams. Let's see how you have this one. Utah looked great in that game against the Clippers, but I have a feeling the Clippers are going to make some teams look good if they're taking nights off like they did in that one. All right. Flag under in his points. Hey, he did have a double-double in that first game. Mavs shouldn't be laying 10. NYC bar like Sacramento on the money line here. All right, you guys, I got to go over in this one. Like I said, I just totally reversed field here on this and figure out, how wrong was I? I'm willing to accept my mistakes here and move on. And I'm going to take the over here with the Utah and Sacramento. I have a feeling the totals will go down again as we move along here, but maybe just right now at the start of the season, a little bit, kind of like the preseason. They were going over. Here is Jazz and the points for LALV. Greg here liking the Kings to get it done, and he likes it over in this one. Abel likes it over as well. I'm going over. Kyle Anderson is upgraded to probable here, though, for Utah tonight. That's good news. The Timberwolves taking on the Lakers here. Oh, boy, the Timberwolves are only favored by 2 here. Minnesota comes in completely healthy, but meanwhile, Maxi Kleber has an injury designation here for the Lakers in this one. Total now at 225.5, maybe here, just ticking up a little bit. Of course, Lakers here coming in off a pretty dismal performance, to say the least, in that first game, losing 119 to 109 against Golden State, despite Luka's 43 points and 12 rebounds. Now, Luka's ended right back up on the injured list, and it could be here because of the amount of effort that he had to put forth in that game. I mean, he looked great out there, but nonetheless, did use a lot of energy, I guess, would be the situation here for Luka. And he, like I said, has ended up here on the injured list again. Just questionable, so maybe a little bit of just wear and tear. Let's see how he is after that first game. I think I expect him to play in this game, but nonetheless, he is on the injury report here this morning and yesterday. Let me maybe take a look at it here. 43 points, 12 rebounds, 9 assists, just missed the triple-double in that first game here. For Minnesota, though, look, Ant Edwards, he also had reportedly back spasms, and he was a star in that season opening game there for Minnesota. Looked really good, 118, 114. Another game that landed kind of right on the money, just a matter of which side or what line you had, it felt like there. But Edwards, 41 points, 7 rebounds, and just 1 assist, but who cares? If you're Ant Edwards, you aren't paid to make assists. Randall, 19 points, 7 rebounds. Lakers did get 26 points and 9 assists from Austin Reeves in that loss. 7 of the last 9 meetings between these two teams have gone under. Minnesota's 4-1 against the spread the last 5 games here against the Lakers. I'm going over in this one with Minnesota and the Lakers here on Friday night. Give me the over in this one. The Lakers are looking like a revolving door defensively right now, and I would imagine for Ant Edwards here, as long as he's in the lineup, it's going to be a big night. And also, Jalen McDaniels can have a strong game. I think even DiVincenzo can knock him down here. Now that he's opening the season here as a starter, I think that's pretty positive. Here, trying to replace a legend there and Mike Conley right now. And look, he's still the man here coming off the bench, but DiVincenzo will be doing the starting here for the time being, it feels like. Luka's, in fact, I see right now Luka here, probable. Reeves and Luka are probable. That one just coming in on the phone here. I'm going over in that one. Now, especially, we'll see. I mean, that could trigger it a little bit here on that total. I think we knew Luka was probably going to play. Okay, let's go to the chat here right now and see what you guys have in this one. There's Justin in the chat. Thank you, Justin. Nice to see you there. And great job on the 2-3 zone with the 12 games. You guys knocked it out of the park. Robert's on the over here. I wish I was with you guys still. Jazz and Kings, the middle of the pack teams. Here's Cash Kane on the Wolves there. Abel's on the over. Justin likes the Timberwolves on this one. Abel's likes the over here. Hey, there's the first true steam this morning. It's on a hockey game with the New Jersey Devils. They were minus 335, but New Jersey's going to be up to possibly 375 here with San Jose coming off that overtime win over the Rangers last night. Man, the Rain Devils are on the move here. We're only on the first 2 weeks of the season. I've got a near $4 favorite tonight in New Jersey. Jarrell says, got to take Minnesota. Why would this be any different than that playoff series, right? It seems like a decent team here. Cash Kane, Laker fans, says there's just not enough firepower with this team. It's almost like what happened, Cash Kane, right? Yes, in this particular matchup against a team, they don't match up very well against Minnesota, but all that good mojo a little bit, even though if the Lakers did kind of, crash out in the playoffs, it felt like, hey, they really turned it around a little bit, played in some big games, and all of a sudden we're back to square one with LeBron out right now. It feels like the Lakers it's going to be more like 2 years ago rather than they were in position last year, right? They played well. They were going to make the playoffs there the whole time. 2 years ago, remember, they had to struggle just to make the playoffs. I think that's where we're at again with the Lakers. They're going to be borderline to make the playoffs the way it's looking here right now. Weedu says Ant's got his rap album coming out today. Luka double. He's in. Lakers money line here. Greg likes the Lakers to win it. How about that? VAR likes the over. Greg says he's got the old wrong team favored. And Nuke says you got the Lakers and the Clippers both at home. How about that? Yeah, the Clippers got their own building now. So how about that? Lakers lose, Clippers win. Luka with a buzzer beater tonight. Chosen ones here, he says the Lake Show. I got to go with the Wolves here. I think they're still in ready to go mode. All right, 2 more here. Doing a great job. And Justin says Luka dominates the Minnesota Timberwolves a little bit. Cash Kane. Luka needs another star right now without LeBron, right? What are the Lakers going to do? They're going to sit here without LeBron probably till Christmas, I would imagine, huh? All right, a couple more here out west. We got the Warriors taking on the Trailblazers tonight. And look, the Warriors are the busiest team in the league so far this season right now. So here come the Warriors off of that win last night over Denver. And now they got to travel here up to Portland. At least they're 2-0 coming in, but deep breath here, it feels like, as the Warriors are playing for the third time already. I don't think any team here tonight is playing a third game here. In fact, most of the teams don't even have one. Like every team here, I believe, has just played one game, and the Warriors are playing their third game of the season here already. So deep breath here right now. But the one thing is, the Warriors here are favored in this game. Let me adjust the line here. They're favored by 1. And but still, Portland, I mean, Portland looked okay here. Yeah, they did lose in that opener, but they fell right there close to the money. Spread is 1 and 227 here right now. I imagine this is going to be pretty tough for Golden State, considering coming in here, especially with Curry having to be matched up there a little bit with Holiday. That's not always the best situation, I don't think, for Curry. But you got to figure Butler can have a big game here again and do a great job and carry this team a little bit. But I don't mind Portland's situation here, man. Shadon Sharp, is this guy going to be? Now, I know he was a little bit of a disappointment there in game 1, but nonetheless, he signed that contract extension last week. He's going to be a big star, and he could have a big game, it feels like, here tonight. I'd probably look to go over on Shadon Sharp's props here tonight. Also, Klingon was outstanding in that first game, too. I don't think he kind of reached his quota in that game, but he's got a pretty good matchup here against Draymond Green. For me, Draymond, hey, it's over for Draymond. He can play good defense on any given play, but it's passed him by here a little. He's still giving out a great effort, and it's still highly above average defense here, but only when the team needs it, it feels like right now. So Moody is out. That's going to shift the lineup here a little bit as well. Moody has a calf injury, didn't play last night. And let me correct this, because Kerr did say after the game that he's hopeful that Moody could play tonight. Maybe he was actually rested so he could try to make this lineup here a little bit. So I would imagine it might be more Will Richard if Moody is not in there. So I don't know if that is great actually for the Warriors here in this one. This is actually one game where I'm going to go under here in this one with Golden State and Portland here tonight. I'm going to go under with these two. Is that my, just like the other night, I think, is that my first under here on, no, we had, is that my first under on the show? Gosh, what a square I am. Totally going under now, or totally going over now after the all those games went over the other night. But I will go under in this one between Golden State and Portland. Portland has lost 5 straight games at home to the Warriors and 9 straight games overall. So maybe that's why the Warriors are favored here by 1, but just feels like it'll be a tough one, actually. Go ahead in the chat, though, and see if maybe that's enough for you. 9-0, huh? Okay. And, man, you know what? I'm an 8. I like Ayton a lot. I'm worried. I'm worried about Ayton right now as a Laker. I'm sure there'll be moments that he will be good, but man, it feels like he can't put it all together. Cash Kane's on the Blazers. Our Tom's Blazers and under. Not a great spot for the Warriors. Cash Kane says. Abel says, blaze them. Justin's got the Blazers in his pocket. Chosen One, leaning Blazers. It's almost all Blazers here. Chosen One says, yeah, off the OT game last night. Did get it done there. The Nuggets feel like they might have gotten jobbed a little bit. Third game in 4 nights, Curry. But, man, what is Curry on? I mean, this guy looks faster than look, I'm trying to, you think of his career. He's been incredible every year and whatever he's doing, but he looked fast. He looked fast. He looked fast last night. Really. All right. Blazers 420. Portland coach mentioned it, right, Greg? So we do have Thiago Splitter, named head coach there, the former Spurs player. If you remember, Splitter playing on some of those great Spurs teams. He'll be doing Portland here. He'll be coaching Portland right now. Green, he could easily get into foul trouble tonight, Cash Kane. And Terrell says Billups, he's out of the jail without the bail. Curry looked good. Hard Tom's right. I mean, but hey, we're getting older. Can we do it? Okay, I'm gonna go with the under in that one. One more in the NBA here tonight with the Suns taking on the Clippers. And the Clippers are favored in this one by 9.5, like they just blew somebody out. They looked terrible in that game against Utah. It was just abysmal. I mean, disgusting is what I would call it there in that game. You're the Clippers. You're not supposed to come in. I get it, man. Utah's going to be improved one of these years. And, you figure even this year they should get a little bit better here coming on. But, man, to lose that game like they did, anyway. Phoenix coming in here. Look, I think it's a tough matchup still against the Clippers, but getting all those points against the Clippers team that just seems to have no sense of, do they even know they're favored by 9.5 in this game? It's going to be a tough enough just to win probably for some of these guys. Look, James Harden got one of his tougher matchups probably against Book. And, Phoenix against the Clippers, not exactly easy. Kawhi's, playing right now, so he's still going to be elite defensively here. And of course, Zubac is going to be able to dominate Iguodala, but also, look out for Iguodala. Look, I know he's not going to produce anything necessarily offensively right now, but did have 7 points and 4 rebounds in the win over the Kings, and I think he could be okay here in this one. I'm going to go under in this game with the Clippers, and we got another under, like I just forgot. 4 of the last 5 meetings between the two teams have gone over. Phoenix has won 5 straight and covered 4 of the last 5 against the Clippers overall here. But, Phoenix was struggling there down the stretch last season, and both these teams seem to have some issues away from the court here. So I figure maybe it'd just be an ugly game. I'm going to go under. Look at this. We're talking about all these totals moving higher. This one actually opened as high as 228.5 at Circa and is all the way down here to 223.5 right now at Bovada. So I'm going under here in this one. I'm going to just kind of tail that steam a little bit. I'm chasing the steam in this one, and I'm going to take the under with Phoenix and the Lakers here on Friday night. That's a look at the NBA. Let's get your plays on this final game, and we've got some more action with college football here. Greg thinks that's a distraction for Portland. Chosen One's got the Clippers first quarter. Cash Kane, Clippers on the money line. WeDo says, Cleveland or Brooklyn over. LALB Suns plus the points. Abel Suns first half. And Greg Gibson says he likes the Suns to win this one. He likes the Suns to take him 115-108. Man, you'll see Greg going in the opposite way of the dog there right now. Good job, Greg. How about that? All right, that's going to do it for the NBA. Thanks a lot for all your input there. Makes my job a lot easier and makes it go a little faster. But I'm going to move to college football right now with a 3-game card here on Friday night. Let's get to it. We've got, we got North Texas here favored in this one by 27 points. In fact, it's down here. I'd call it 26. I'm even seeing a 25.5 out there. The move's coming in a little bit on Charlotte, although I will say Circa opened this one 23 and had to kind of move it higher. A little bit of steam here right now. In hockey tonight. We're going to get to it in just a moment, but Calgary is taking the steam against Winnipeg tonight. What's going on with that? They were plus $1.25. They might be down to plus $1.20 here right now. The move is coming out on Calgary, one of the worst teams in the league so far, against Winnipeg, one of the best surprises in the league. Steam is on Calgary here. Okay, whatever. I'm not, I just don't make it up to, look for attention here. Take a look. I mean, I'm seeing $1.30 right now at Bet Online. That puts $1.15 for Calgary, man. Is Calgary is it tonight? Otherwise, you're getting a big discount on Winnipeg.
Steam play.
Also, here's some college football steam from the weekend here right now. Let's get a little more action here for you. Southern Miss is taking the steam here in their game against Monroe. It was Southern Miss, a 12.5-point favorite, but they're going to be back to 14, where I think the line originally was. Steam came in on Southern Miss against UL Monroe on Saturday. All right, let's get into this one, though, between North Texas and Charlotte. And, man, what a mismatch here. Total here in this one is 61. And, like I said, down to 26 or so. But just a total mismatch on paper, quite frankly, no matter how you look at this one. Hard to ignore. You got a 6-1 North Texas team coming in here against a Charlotte team that has basically the opposite record so far this season. So total mismatch on paper. It's just a matter of, is North Texas kind of overlooking Charlotte? They got a big game coming up with the Army here very soon. Let me get this game to you here. North Texas 6-1 straight up, 2-5 ATS. Meanwhile, Charlotte 5-2 ATS, 5-2 to the over as well, averaging 45 points per game for Charlotte here. They are 1-6 straight up, 2-5 against the spread, averaging just 17 points per game so far this season. So, yeah, it's been a little bit awkward to say the least. Now, Charlotte won both games when these two teams used to play in Conference USA back, about 5 or 6 years ago, right around the pandemic there. And they are coming off a 55-17 win over UTSA as North Texas coming into this one. Mestamaker, the quarterback, a 17-3 touchdown to interception ratio, but North Texas also a great running back in Hawkins, 133 yards in the game, and they ran for a season-high 270 yards here in this one. 49ers are struggling for sure. All 6 of Charlotte's losses this season have been by double digits, and they lost at home to Temple last week as an 11-point dog, 49-14. But were only out-yarded by about 25 yards, interestingly enough. North Texas is just 2-7 against the spread as a double-digit favorite on the road, but that is kind of a long sample size. They're not often favored by double digits until recently, and then a little bit before their recent surge here. It's really the most points they've laid on the road since 2018, to make it clear. Short rest usually would favor the underdog here in this one, and maybe Charlotte here, but gosh, it just feels like a total mismatch here right now between these two. The steam has come in on Charlotte here, but man, I just have a feeling North Texas to rock them. I'm going to take North Texas. It might be against. Let me see what you guys have. I'm going to lay it. Computer's telling me my algorithm is telling me Charlotte, but I'm going to veto the computer in this one and go with North Texas to keep this roll going. Only thing is there a little bit of a look ahead, like I said, because of that upcoming game? Maybe they've taken on Navy, I think, here in or what did I say, Army or Navy? Which one's in the conference, you guys? Also, let's see here. Charlotte, also injuries, heavy injuries here for Charlotte as well in this game. See if we have that here. More cluster injuries, I think, would be the best way to describe it. But Charlotte, near the bottom in yards per play margin versus opponents, near the bottom in yards per game margin versus the opponents, and near the bottom in scoring margin against opponents as well. And like Nuke says right here, number one in scoring average is North Texas, right? What could go wrong? Nuke's famous saying here. Going to obliterate Charlotte, says Cash Kane. North Texas all day.
Final.
Sports Money was in the chat. I missed that there. I missed those last games there a little bit. Okay, Nuke. Let's see, any more? North Texas might score 61 themselves. Hello to Jimmy. North Texas team total over for Terrell. Okay, at least I'm not alone. And who wants Charlotte, I guess. They're probably supposed to be the team you're supposed to take. Here comes the back door, says Nuke. I think Weedy says, I want to watch it for, I think he wants to watch it for the, like a car wreck. Jimmy likes the over in this one. I wonder if Charlotte, 3-0 all night. I wonder how many points Charlotte can actually get in this game. We won't stop us here. And Greg says he likes this one, 44-12. I think he likes the under there.
Final.
I think that score looks pretty good, except for the goofy numbers, but the margin seems okay. All right, I'm going to take North Texas in that one. Able on North Texas. Here we go. Got another interesting one here for sure with Cal taking on Virginia Tech. You know, Cal is all of a sudden they're live to win the ACC here. What's going on now? Cal does have some injury concerns coming in, but they're an underdog here by 6 points.
Final.
I get it. We're in Blacksburg. You know what? The mystique's off. The mystique's off right now because the team's no good. People aren't even coming to the games right now. Yes, it's always going to be, if it's a weeknight game in Blacksburg and the excitement of the beginning of the game, it's not there right now. It's almost like a novelty a little bit. You got to have a good team to make all that work, right? Now, Cal did not get the money last week. They were fortunate to win against Uncle Bill, right? But Tar Heels had that fumble, right at the goal line. California here, though, Johnson, the running back, and Parker, the running back, Marshall, tight end, and running back Brandon Hyde Jr. are out here in this game. So they are missing some backs here in this one. But Virginia Tech comes in, here as if they've taken the money all week like they're the better team. I mean, look, they don't have a good record at all. Virginia Tech coming in here 2-5, 1-6 against the spread coming in. Yes, they're allowing 29 points a game, averaging 23 points per game here right now. And we know that California, even with this fine record, still just out pointing foes by 1.8 points so far this season. But Cal right now is sitting on the cusp of possibly, being very, very live in the ACC race. I mean, they're 3-1 here right now. So, look, it's a tough schedule. Every time you have to go back there, now you're on a little bit of short rest. Virginia Tech's off of a bye. All these things are kind of lining up for Pittsburgh. But look, it's not certain. I mean, there are 8 teams right now that have 0 or 1 losses in the ACC. But remember, the Bears beat BC as well. And, wasn't easy for sure. And they played an easier schedule, has Cal, than Virginia Tech. That's certainly another factor that you want to consider. So, look, Sagapolatelli, it definitely is inconsistent, right? He, does make some turnovers, but look, he was missing his top wide receiver there last week. He got knocked out of the game there for a moment. So, maybe there is something for Virginia Tech. I don't know. I wouldn't want to lay points with it. Now you're laying 6 here with them. I'm going to go over in this one with California and Virginia Tech. Give me the over here. I have concerns, yes. Laying it with Cal or taking the points even with Cal here. But man, I think that's probably the way I'd go too. But give me the over here as my official play in this one, despite all these things that I mentioned that kind of go against them. The Hokies, at least, they're 6-14 against the spread. Their last 20 coming in off of a straight up and against the spread a loss. So Sagapolatelli, though, he's, to me, one of the best freshman quarterbacks in the country for sure. And look, for Beamer, job's on the line maybe here in the last part of the season. This is one they kind of need here. But like I said, I don't think the Sandman here is all that right now. So Cal keeps it going here and keeps it within a touchdown, I would think. My play, though, is on the over in the Cal and Virginia Tech. Here we go with some plays here from you guys and see what you have in the chat. All right, and Nasty Nate says he got some family and friends going to the game tonight, right? They need it. They need the fans there. They need Virginia Tech to drum up some of that excitement for sure. LALB on Virginia Tech. Mike likes Virginia Tech to smash them. He says, I mean, look, it's still Virginia Tech on a Friday night. Jimmy likes Cal here and the under. Abel's got Cal in the first half. I don't know what we do is saying, but I like it. I think he's talking about going to the Terribles store here in Nevada. Greg says take Cal plus those points, and maybe it sneaks over there. See, is that still the total, 51? Yeah, 6-51, maybe 50.5 there. So Greg's on Cal a little bit. 9 Legacy, Virginia Tech, first half spread. Cash Kane liked my analysis of this one. Nasty Nate says take Virginia Tech in the first half and lay those points. All right. One more here on Friday night, late night, and we're in the Mountain West with Boise State. Ooh, taking on Nevada. Man, San Diego State trying to chase down Boise State here. Love to see an upset here, but Boise State's favored by 21 against the Wolfpack. A little bit interesting here, right? I mean, just, a little bit of noise here. Nico Iamalava is questionable for UCLA here. This just in a few moments ago with that knee. So Iamalava is questionable for the Bruins here. That just in. Okay, Boise State and Nevada here. You got a 21-point spread, maybe even 21.5 here right now, and the total around 51 in this one. So, well, for Nevada, look, it hasn't been a great season. I know Jay Norvell just got fired at Colorado State. Could Jay Norvell be headed back to Nevada here to coach the team here after this season? He used to get it done here for sure, but it's been kind of thin pickings right now as Nevada at home hasn't been great, that's for sure, and they don't have a conference win yet. Broncos, meanwhile, are 5-2, 3-0 in conference. San Diego State just a half a game back, and San Diego State plays Fresno for the Oil for the oil can here this week. So, look, Broncos right now are so hot right now with Dylan Riley, who lit up UNLV last week for 200 yards rushing in the game. He's had some big games. But, look, Boise plays Fresno next week after Fresno plays San Diego State this week, and Boise does have big revenge at home on the blue turf. So maybe they could look past that. And, a little bit of emotion. I don't know. Doug Martin, he passed away last week. He was Boise State. Remember how awesome he was? He was really the first of those Boise players to kind of make it big time. Remember when Boise started to kind of become a little bit of prominence on the national scene? You had the Muscle Hamster was kind of the first guy at Boise kind of break through into the NFL and be a good player. Boise has covered 6 straight games here right now this season, and outscored UNLV 28-7 in the second half. Nevada just 1-6, but 3 of those losses are by a touchdown or less. And they've kind of given a little bit of hassle in the past, not winning wise, but maybe cover wise against Boise. Boise's a much better team than them right now. Nevada's been keeping these things close, but man, I was trying to talk myself into into Nevada last night, but I think we've got a blowout. I think it's another road blowout. I think Boise feels like if they got to keep trying to make noise a little bit too, just in case, because those teams atop the Mountain West are going to be looking to make the splash and get to the top. Try to get into that playoff. I'm going to go ahead and lay it big time here with Boise State, and I think we get a blowout win for Boise here tonight. All right, let's see what we got here. Mikey thinks it will be awesome still at Virginia Tech, and I say, look, the optics will be there, so I can't really argue that, because the ESPN will come on and it'll be rocking, but I'm saying it's not there right now. This looks like a coach who's on the way out here unless Virginia Tech can turn around, and that's sad when you think about Shane Beamer and what Frank Beamer meant to this program as well. Justin likes Nevada here, and Boise State for 9 legacy, first half spread. And we do says Boise over and money too there. Jimmy likes the under here in this one. Wolfpack first half or Abel. We do says Nevada never goes over. Take Nevada plus the points. Boise's good at home. On the road, a little bit tougher. I would feel that way too if Nevada hasn't looked so bad this year. I feel like, like I said, I was trying to talk myself into Nevada last night on another show, but haven't been up all night looking at all the games. I ended up here on Boise. Then Terrell says Boise, team total over. That's it for the college football. 3 games. Enjoy tonight. Look, we're watching the World Series, but hey, we have some football on. We got some hockey. Let's take a look at the NHL. Just 4 games. We'll make it quick here. You guys have been with me here for almost 2 hours on the Morning Steam Show. Thank you so much. Really enjoy it. All right, we had some winners last night, so let's see if we can bring it back here a little bit. I wouldn't call it a winning day on the ice, but let's take a look here at the Capitals taking on the Blue Jackets here in this one, and we'll take a look at these goalies, make sure we got the right guys in here tonight. Jet Greaves is confirmed in here for Columbus here. Greaves 1-2 record, but a 203 goals against coming into this one. Blue Jackets won over Dallas 5-1 with Elvis in goal last time out, but it's going to be Greaves' turn here tonight, and he'll try to get this one going. He's been pretty good there in his first couple of games, despite a couple of losses here. Still, Columbus, a slight home dog here. Logan Thompson, 4-1, 1.6 goals against, 92.5% save percentage. Man, this seems like a pretty good game. The Wilder Board Steam did come in here on the under, have it there 6.5 under 25. But I'll tell you what, that ain't the line anymore. I'm showing Washington maybe $1.15 here. Maybe it's gone down just a little bit, but the total here is mostly 6, maybe some juiced 6s to the over in this one. Tell you what, I'm going to take Columbus here in this one. Look, Columbus has done a nice job so far. I don't think it's, Thompson is right back at it, and Washington is looking good here again. Last year we tried to discredit them over the last year and a half plus, right? Say, well, you know what? They're with Obi, they're getting older, they're a little bit, and they just keep doing a pretty good job here. They've won 12 of the last 16 games against Columbus overall. However, just 1-6 here is Columbus at home against Washington, but I'm going to take Columbus here actually in this one, and I'm going with the Blue Jackets tonight against the Caps. Okay, let's see what we got. Dimitri likes Nevada. Ivar liked Cal in that game. Here's Cash Kane on the Caps, and Justin says, I got to watch the baseball. Those other games are good, but it does feel a little bit special with the Toronto Blue Jays in there. I got to admit, I was teasing there. I said, hey, if Seattle gets in there, you talk about how popular the games will be in Japan. This feels better. And let's see. He just says, Betts is the best, and I'm not watching the World Series. Flea is here today. Var likes the over in that late football game. AOD likes the Caps, and Jimmy is a member. Thank you, Jimmy. He's got that sports money membership. Really appreciate you, Jimmy, and coming by here. I'm going to take the Jackets in this one. Next up, the Sharks are on the road, and man, that says 355 there, and I'm seeing 380 here at some shops. Now, I will say that some of the sharp books are 355. I could probably leave that up there. Total here, 6.5 under, maybe $1.25 right now. But, hey, the Sharks are coming off that win over the Rangers yesterday, and now they got to take on the Devils. Now, the Rangers suck. They couldn't even score for the first 3 games at home of the season. Then they get into a shootout with the Sharks of all teams. Hey, good on the Sharks. They got their first win of the season against the Rangers. Rangers okay on the road so far, but kind of a joke at home. And now you got New Jersey, who's no joke. No joke home, no joke away, just no joke, period. The way New Jersey's getting off to such a great start here this season, they're looking terrific with this current record here right now off the charts. One of the best records in the league so far this season for New Jersey here. They're 6-1, 5-2 on the puck line, averaging 4 goals per game. The Sharks are allowing 4.9 goals per game. It does kind of feel like that was great. Great job, Sharks. Got the win. And now you got to come right back in here. It's not travel or anything, big travel or anything, go to, to play in New Jersey next. But it feels more like a deep breath for San Jose. And then, hey, we got one, and now we're going up against a hot team here in Jake Allen and New Jersey. Allen's 3-0 with a 1.91 goals against, 93% save percentage. Meanwhile, Askarov 0-2-1 with a 5.7 goals against, 83.5% save percentage here. So just feels like to me like we're going to be getting on back here, and good for San Jose, but they'll probably get it handed to them tonight, I would think. I'm willing to lay the puck line here at even minus money in this one. Look, I did it with the Rangers last night and lost. It was probably a bad call, but Sharks had not been looking, they've been looking like the Sharks. But here in this one, got Devils here minus 1.5, minus 140. I'll go ahead and do it here on the back-to-back for San Jose off that confidence-building win necessarily. But again, the Rangers looks like just a different team that you're playing here than New Jersey right now. New Jersey should be able to handle the business, you would think here. Remember, dating back to last year right now, I think San Jose's won just 2 of their last 19 games and just 2 of their last 11 games on the road. New Jersey's on a hot streak here right now. The only thing I will say about San Jose in this game, and for whatever reason, and maybe there's some, these are the ones where you talk about head-to-head trends, and you say, well, that's not a great head-to-head, or this one is, or this one isn't. But it is interesting that San Jose has actually won 9 of the last 12 meetings at New Jersey, and it's not like San Jose's been any good over the last 6 years. Remember, they were they only come here once a year, so that's a 12-year sample size, really, and for whatever reason, sometimes it's the logistics of it. The franchise. Look, New Jersey's been fine for the last decade here, so it's kind of the same matchup, kind of over and over again. And yeah, San Jose's gotten the better of them for whatever reason in this series. But tonight, after a big win, I'm going to go ahead and take New Jersey minus $1.40 on the puck line. All right. Got a few plays here maybe from you guys in this one. You got LALB going over. Abel's willing to come back on the Sharks again, but Barr likes the Devils on the puck line in this one. A couple more here on the ice on Friday night. Let's get right to it with the Leafs taking on the Sabres here in this one. Just saw retirement here. Shapovalov had to retire against Fonseca. And they'll be meeting up. He'll be meeting up with Munar here in the semis at Basel. Okay, let's go here right now with Toronto on the road at Buffalo. Buffalo, $1. I got this line a little short here. Probably $1.25. And I'll call it 6 over 15. With the Leafs on the road, taking on the Sabres here. And look, I mean, we know the Leafs are probably the better team here, but I don't know if it's a great spot necessarily for the Leafs coming in here. There's obviously a little bit of a move on the Sabres. Leafs are just 3-1 so far this season, 2-5 on the puck line. Sabres are 3-4 so far this season. They've 1-6 to the under, averaging just 2.7 goals per game, but allowing just 2.9 goals per game. Leafs are averaging 3.4 goals per game and allowing 3.6 goals per game. So it hasn't been terrific there either, although the Leafs are 5-2 to the over so far this season. And for Buffalo here, they've gone over in 12 of the last 15 meetings between these two teams. Widely reported steam has come in on Toronto in this one, and it also came in on the under. Toronto's won 5 straight games against Buffalo overall coming in, and I don't know. I'm kind of want to take a stab at Buffalo here in this game, actually. Near pick'em price here, maybe even a little bit of plus money right now. Like I said, the move here. I'm going to say there hasn't really been much of a move, if anything. Circa opened at 115 up to 121. Meanwhile, DraftKings opened at 135 down to 130. So, who knows? But I'm going to take Buffalo in this one against Toronto to pick up a win. Looks like Toronto's just off to kind of a mediocre start, and Buffalo's done okay here to pick up 3 wins so far. So, give me Buffalo here in this one. And remember that time change from 7:37 to 7:07 here. I think in accordance to the hockey game. But we are seeing some information here just coming out here. Let me see here. Am I having a... Can you guys... Uh-oh. Okay, I think I'm still on. I'm seeing some... My bars are disappearing. I'm having some connection issues here all of a sudden. All right. For the Sabres, though, Jason Zucker did leave last game with an upper body injury. He's questionable, and defenseman Jacob Bryson reported here as questionable this morning as well following a concussion. So he might be out of this one. Those injuries are just in here to the high-speed sports wire. Here we go with some plays from you guys in this one. You've got Cash Kane going with the Leafs. Leafs and over for We Do. LALB says Leafs. And Sabres Leafs in that back-to-back matchup here. So maybe that will be a bit of a factor in this game with moving with the shift here to Buffalo in this matchup coming off the previous. So good job there by Ken. Good to see Ken Mizrahi actually here in the chat. Nice to see Kenny. Yeah, in that last game, what was it? No, wait. When did they? Was that what you meant? Sabres Leafs is a back-to-back. They play next, right? This is the first of back-to-back, right, Ken? I think that's right. Thanks, Ken. Appreciate that. Okay, I'm going to take Buffalo, though. And we got finally the Flames are on the road taking on the Jets. Okay, what's going on here? Better take a look at the injuries here. Papasil is questionable for the Flames. I mean, that's a Flames injury. This number has dropped here all the way to $1.40 minimum. I'm seeing $1.30 at BetOnline, $1.40 at South Point here in Vegas.
Critical notice.
No matter how you look at it here, the move has been on the Calgary Flames. Totals 5.5 over 20, but interesting, right? That
Final.
This move would come in on Calgary like this, given the situation that Calgary's been absolutely dismal so far this season. Winnipeg's been one of the hottest surprises in the league so far, right? Got Calgary coming here 1-6-1, averaging just 1.6 goals per game so far. Meanwhile, for Winnipeg, they're 5-2, averaging 3.3 goals per game and allowing 2.3 goals per game so far. Do have Comrie here expected, I believe, for the Jets. Now he is the backup here, but he's 1-0 with a 2.0 goals against, 94% save percentage. And for Dustin Wolf, he's been 1-5 so far this season. He's been in there in practically every game but one. I think 3.61 goals against, 87% save percentage here right now. So I don't know what's going on. Maybe this is the night for the Flames. Maybe it's something with these Canadian teams, or I don't know what's going on here with this big move. Yes, Calgary should, have a little bit of progression here, and maybe Edmonton's supposed to come down to earth. Maybe there's a little bit of the head-to-head, with these teams a little bit. After all, you got let's see, 5 of the last 7 meetings between these two teams have gone over, but Calgary has lost 4 of the last 5 games to Winnipeg coming in. So I don't know what gives. We know Calgary, this has been pretty woeful here right now. They won that first game, and they're 0-6-1 since then, right? So not great here for sure. Let's see what you guys have in this one and the final game of the night on the ice. The widely reported steam came in on the over, and I'm going to go over in this one. Give me the over here. Late night, Calgary and Winnipeg. Okay. Let's see here. We got Robert was on Buffalo. Leafs for Abel back on that other one. Cash Cane's on the Jets. Winnipeg strong says we do. Cash Cane doesn't trust the move, but he'll go over in the game. Abel's on the Jets, and LALB likes the over. Yeah, I'm gonna go over. Kind of vetoing the computer again here as well. All right, good look at the NHL tonight with those 4 games. Hey, I'm not done. I've got 2 more games that I'm gonna make some picks on here in the CFL tonight. Got the Red Blacks taking on the Tiger Cats. Tiger Cats are a big favorite here in this one. And look, I mean, it's been a long season here for Ottawa. We get that. A pretty brutal season, actually, for Ottawa. But look, you're getting 2 touchdowns here from a Hamilton team that, well, you know what? What is Hamilton's motivation here? I mean, yeah, they're 10-7 right now, but man, Hamilton's defense has been kind of awkward here of late. To me, they got really suspect defense, actually. And maybe Ottawa could be live here to cover 2 touchdowns. Now, Hamilton has pretty much owned Ottawa in this series. I get that. But Ottawa has covered 9 of the last 13 meetings at Hamilton. Hamilton has won 5 straight against Ottawa and won 13 of the last 15 games overall between the 2 teams. But I'm going to go over in this one. Ottawa's been surely a bit of an over on the road for sure this season. And maybe Hamilton will be content to win this one kind of in a shootout a little bit. I think they could probably outgun them. And I'm going to take the over in this one with Ottawa and Hamilton here tonight. Thank you to Cash King. Great job there. And one more here real quick. The late game out west with the Stamps taking on the Elks. And I believe it's not much to play for here right now. When you look at the current standings in the CFL, we're coming down. It's almost playoff time. Here we go. Yeah, it's almost playoff time right now, but you look at out west here with Edmonton now 7-10 here coming in, right? Calgary 9-7 coming into this one. And for me here, look, I would think laying the points on the road is not exactly the right direction here. Edmonton's actually covered 5 straight games at home. They've also gone under in their last 5 games at home. Calgary's actually gone over in 5 straight. 6 of the last 8 meetings between these two teams have gone over. I think I'm probably going to go over here in this one. I got to think Fajardo can have a pretty strong game here tonight, and the running game will probably be going too with Rankin. You know, Edmonton does defend the run pretty well, but I would think with Vernon Adams Jr. and Eric Brooks, who definitely he left last game. I wish I should have looked at his status here coming in. I believe he's going to be in the game. I think he's going to be a factor, Eric Brooks, and also Dominic Grimes. Here, I'm going to go over in this one with Calgary and Edmonton tonight. You guys have any CFL here? Let's take a look. First half over for Ken. I think that was the first game. Abel's on the Stamps. Abel's on the under. Ken says Edmonton will play loose with nothing on the line. Does that mean they'll be comfortable? Yes, and maybe get that cover at home against Calgary in a high-scoring game. I'm going to do that. Okay, I'll take the over there in that one. I think that's it for the morning steam, man. Enjoy the World Series tonight. Don't forget, check me out over at winnable.com/Ramon. I'm coming at you with some plays today. I think I'm going to have some Euro League here today, and also possibly here's some soccer. There's some Friday fixtures as well here today, and including MLS action getting underway tonight with the Nashville and Inter Miami series in their playoff matchup. But you got some afternoon tilts here. West Ham and Leeds in EPL. AC Milan's underway in Serie A, or play today in Serie A. Sevilla and Sociedad there in that one. And interesting, right? Sociedad, big favorite there, but Sevilla, they seem to be the team with the up arrow a little bit right now. A couple games in Mexico tonight, Germany, Berlin and Bremen, and in France, Nantes and Paris FC. All right, that's going to do it here for the morning steam. Don't forget, use the promo code STEAM to save 20% off my package here. I'm going to give away a package, though, in just a minute. I want you to sample it and see how I do it. Bringing you those late action plays from winnable.com. You can set the notifications, get them sent right to your phone. So why not check it out over at winnable.com? Or if you win this drawing here, you're going to get a free 1 month of my picks from Winnable. We got all the gang on here with the Winnable package, myself, Mikey Money, Jeff M., Sean Fox. So check us out over at winnable.com.
Hey, it's Mikey Money here, letting you know the Sports Money team is live on Winnable. Come check out our best bets.
For a low monthly cost, you get the very best bets delivered instantly to your phone by text the moment they're locked in. No delays, no missed lines, just the smartest plays at the best odds.
We do the work, you get the plays, and they're sent right to your phone right when we drop them.
Don't wait, don't guess, don't miss the line. Join the winning team today and start cashing tickets with Winnable.
All right, thank you, Mike, and let's do that drawing here right now and see who's going to win a chance to check out my plays. Check out this package. Justin, Will, Sammy, AOD, Bobby Mack, Gary, Cliff. We won't stop, and the winner is Cliff Lloyd. Cliff, it's good to see you again. Thank you for stopping by. I'll give you a free month. If you're not signed up, just go to winnable.com/Ramon and use that promo code winner. Sign up for 1 month. You won't be charged. Just put the promo code winner in there. You'll see it'll go to free automatically. And once these do expire, you're on the hook there a little bit to follow me. So consider it, and then don't forget to either cancel or stay on with me. It's 50 cents a day. If this show's worth 50 cents a day to you, I'd suggest subscribing over at winnable.com. Hey, look, I'm pretty proud to have several dozen of you subscribing at 50 cents a day. Imagine that, you guys. Man, I might be making enough here for a little bit of a large pizza tonight off of you guys. That's nice of you guys to keep me fed with a little round table here on Friday night. I got high school football, so I'm not cooking. I need the pizza delivered. It is hectic, you guys. You would not believe. I know I mentioned it a few times, but you should see Ramon trying to watch. Look, I know we do it on the shows and everything, right? But I take my little high school games in my area, where I grow up. I've been doing this for years. And then, I got all my predictions here for my little high school. Don't bet on them. These are my predictions for my games. And look at this one, 62-0. I got my rating system and everything here. And I set it up on all my little computers. Every field has a little camera that they hook up either on the press box or on the light stanchion. And every game is practiced, as long as you set it at the school, and they do this, and every game is like televised. There's no announcers, and it's automated. It's like AI, and they even have like the down marker on there, and there's a little scoreboard. As long as you hook it up to your scoreboard, it shows the score, and there's no announcers. I'm trying to watch 6 games, and I have the rosters over here because I don't know every kid from 12 schools, but I do my best. I write all these stories, and I do a show afterwards with the kids. It's real fun. Follow me on X. You don't have to be from my area if you want to see me, how I'm doing this when I bring the kids on. Sometimes we even send them the link, the StreamYard, right on the bus. And I'm talking to the kids on the bus as they're riding home after the victory and interviewing them and saying, hey, how'd you guys do it? So it gets kind of wild, though, here watching 6 games. You don't have the rosters, and there's no announcers. I'm rewinding half the time to see what happened. And then I type it all in. My new formula, though, is typing all the information and play-by-play into the computer as I'm watching them, and then hit ChatGPT, and it writes a story. I used to have to write the story myself. It would take like an hour for each game. Now I'm just doing ChatGPT, and it writes the whole story for me. All right, it's going to do it here for the morning steam. Really appreciate you guys. There, Kenny, thank you. Jimmy and Justin as well. Justin, you're already on a lifetime membership. Justin, what do you need? You just like winning. You just want to win anything. All right, the West Up parlay from Abel, Dodgers, and Snell in his case. Thanks, everybody. We'll catch you here tomorrow. I'm going to come on, I promise, at 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific. We're going to start the show early. It's going to be a 45-minute show leading right into the UFC coverage tomorrow. Oh, by the way, let me get this in. Please check out VB MMA Picks with myself, VB, and our guest this week was Clint. You know what that means. So check out the show and see who he's on, who we're on. Watch us. BB MMA picks here, preview for that UFC. And also First Strike is also already up and available. I say already. We're basically just 23 hours away from the UFC. So here's a programming reminder. I'm only going to come on for 45 minutes. I'm going to do NBA, NHL, and a World Series tomorrow. And then I'll be on another channel here just because we have to do the UFC. I'm going to do my football over on the Nuke the House channel tomorrow. Then I'm going to join the boys back here for the rest of the UFC card at about noon Eastern and 9 Pacific. Hopefully they can wing it without me. And then we'll join all the way through the college football. It's a long card tomorrow throughout the afternoon. We'll look at all that early college football and stuff there on Saturday and have that for you. So join me here for 45 minutes. Stay here with the guys. I'm going to go my football show on the other channel where I do that show every Saturday. We're just going to package it kind of together like that. So hopefully that's okay for this week, and I hope to see you there. All right. And for the Sports Money, oh, hi, I'm the Great. Nice to see you. And for the Sports Money Network, I'm Ramon Scott. So long.
That's gonna cover, that's gonna cash. Then we make the 100-yard dash to the window. I don't know what you thought. It's Ramon Scott running so hot. Sports make money and we make money with sports money every single day. NFL, NHL, NCAA. Stay away from the juice, we might play a parlay. It's the morning steal. Ramon Scott, sports money. Wake your ass up and let's get to